if someone is, let's say, struggling to fall asleep and they do have all of those thoughts racing through their mind, I've heard you talk about Yoga Nidra, but am I right? Is that something that you would use more in the start of the day, or could you also use that at the end of the day?
Yeah, Yoga Nidra is, I think, my favorite tool of all in all of mental enhancement. Or Yoga Nidra literally means yoga sleep. These are free scripts on YouTube. The one I like, you could just, I have no relation to them, but you could put Yoga Nidra Theta 30-minute. There's a Theta rhythm one that I happen to like, but there are many others. You have to pick one where the voice guides you through a number of self-relaxation steps. And sometimes there's an intention or something of that sort. And it brings your brain and body into a state that's very similar to sleep, but not quite sleep. Yoga Nidra done 1 to 3 times per week has an immensely powerful effect on teaching you how to deliberately turn off your thoughts. It's allowed me to work in, I think, a far more concentrated way than I would otherwise. It's used now in a lot of trauma release programs. People who are dealing with a lot of overwhelm will do Yoga Nidra for 30 minutes or 20 minutes, or sometimes even an hour a day. And there are a few studies, mainly out of Scandinavia, showing that 30 minutes of a Yoga Nidra script can reset levels of dopamine in the area of the brain called the basal ganglia, which is involved in planning and action and controlling reflexive behaviors versus deliberate behaviors. It's a very powerful tool. You asked when to do it. I like to do it in the morning, right after I wake up, if I felt I haven't slept enough. And the reason for not sleeping enough could be because I couldn't fall back asleep. I'm ruminating. I have to get up and work that day. I come out of that Yoga Nidra always feeling as if I slept more than enough. It's really remarkable.
And how long do you do that for?
I do a 30-minute Nidra.
Cool.
And then there are times when in the afternoon I'm feeling a little run down, and sometimes I'll take a 20-minute nap. The rule on naps, according to Dr. Matthew Walker, is naps should always be shorter than 90 minutes. So they could be 10 minutes or 20 minutes, but they should never interfere with your nighttime sleep. So if you can take a nap and still sleep at night, great. But if you take naps and that disrupts your nighttime sleep, then you shouldn't nap. Yoga Nidra could be done in the afternoon instead of the morning. Or if I do wake up in the middle of the night and I'm really having a hard time falling back asleep, I'll do a Yoga Nidra as a replacement for sleep because it's the second best option. A lot of times I'll fall asleep during those Nidras, which is great because I wanted to go to sleep. I love them. Or I use Reverie. I'll use that app. So I would say do it first thing in the morning or in the afternoon or any time of night, but it's not something you have to do every day. I think a lot of people think, oh, you have to do it every day. I mean, you're teaching your nervous system how to deliberately relax. Likewise with physiological sighs, if you do them regularly, you'll find that you have an easier time relaxing when you decide to do one spontaneously.
Mm-hmm. Do you do Yoga Nidra sitting down or lying down?
I lie down.
Okay.
On any surface. Yeah, I lie down. If I've done them in my car before, if I'm like, I hate commuting and I hate traffic. So sometimes if I'm feeling really tired, I'll just pull the car over, not on the side of the freeway, but I'll pull over into a neighborhood and I'll put the seat back so I'm not fully reclined, and I'll just listen to a Nidra, and I'm out of that. I feel great. I love Nidra. I think it's so powerful because I'm not a great meditator. I do meditate a bit, but meditation is an active process. This is about shutting off thinking and doing.
How important do you think the voice is, choosing the right voice for you?
Big. I'm a big fan of Kamini Desai's voice. I don't know you, Kamini, but thank you. You have a lovely voice.
Is that a guy or a girl?
It's a woman,
Yeah.
Desai. She has a father who also releases these scripts, and I think his name is Amrit Desai. I'm less a fan of his voice. It's a little, whatever. It's just not for me. My sister loves the one, Liam Gillen has a Irish accent that's, quite beautiful to
Calming.
her. Yeah, very calming. And, you just have to find one that works for you. And there are a ton of these on the internet. And if you don't like the intention stuff and there's a company out there called Made For that my friend Pat Dossett and Blake Mykoski started, and they have a free resource that you can find on YouTube, which is, it just says NSDR, non-sleep deep rest. I lump all of these things like hypnosis and Yoga Nidra into what I call non-sleep deep rest. And the reason I coined that term, NSDR, is that A, I like acronyms because I'm a scientist, and B, I think a lot of people are averse to something called Yoga Nidra because it sounds like you're going to be doing down dogs or up dogs or chanting or ohms or something. And for some people, that's a barrier to entry. When in fact, the whole, much of the value of Yoga Nidra is simply the self-directed relaxation. Likewise with hypnosis, people think stage hypnosis and you're going to be like clucking like a chicken. Whereas there's a well-known and established utility for clinical hypnosis. So non-sleep deep rest is a kind of catch-all term for, tools that you use to deliberately downshift, move the seesaw to the other side. And Made For has a script on YouTube that's called NSDR, and that's quite nice. It's the voice there is a man's voice. It's my friend Rory Cordial. He has a very calming voice. Yeah.